1899, the streets of New York City echoed with the voices of newsies, peddling the newspapers of Joseph Pulitzer, William Randolph Hearst, and other giants of the newspaper world. On every corner you saw them carrying the banner, bringing you the news for a penny a paper. Poor orphans and runaways, the newsies were a ragged army, without a leader. Until one day, all that changed.
Newsies were vital to the distribution of newspapers in the 1800s. Newsies would buy a bundle of 100 papers for 50 cents and sell them for a penny apiece. Most newsies didn't have families and would also need to pay 10 cents a night for a newsboys bunker, and would still have to have money for food and for the papers the next day. It was barely enough to live on, and they often ended up literally eating the leftover papers. Most newsies were boys between the ages of 6 and 20. Some were older, some were younger, and there were even some girls. Most of the newsies smoked, gambled, and had a tendency to be violent. But by all accounts, the newsies were like one big family and looked after each other. In 1895, 5,000 trolley workers went on strike in New York City when they were denied a pay raise. They started fires, smashed windows, and got into ugly fights on the street. They outnumbered the police by thousands. On the 6th day of the strike, the National Guard was called to put an end to it. During those 6 days, hundreds of kids watched the strikers and sold papers that told the stories. They unknowingly planted the seeds of what was going to be the biggest kid-led strike in history. On July 21st, 1899, Joseph Pulitzer and William Hearst decided to raise the cost of the papers for the newsies, taking it from 50 cents up to 60. Most newsies couldn't pay that much. 13-year-old Louis Ballot, known to most by his street name, Kid Blink, was blind in one eye and wore an eye patch. He was inspired by the trolley strike and encouraged all of the other newsies to not buy any papers. They tore papers of anyone who refused to join the strike. Over the next 2 weeks, Kid Blink and his best friends, young Monix and Racetrack Higgins, sent out papers to all of the newsies, sweatshop kids, and homeless kids in New York City, asking them to boycott the papers and join them at rallies on the Brooklyn Bridge and at theaters. Many rallies had over 5,000 kids. Kid Blink completely shut down all of New York's media. That's like getting rid of all of New York's internet, radio, and TV. Sometimes they were violent and had to be broken up, but they stood firm, and Kid Blink is quoted saying, "Friends and fellow workers, this is a time which tries the hearts of men. This is a time when we've got to stick together like glue. We know what we want, and we'll get it even if we is blind." After 2 weeks, the strike ended when Pulitzer and Hearst decided that they would buy back unsold papers at the end of each day. This made a huge difference for many newsies. The events of their strike inspired other smaller newsboy strikes all over the country for years to come, and got people thinking about all the effects of child labor. And Kid Blink went down in history as one of the most powerful kids on earth.